Hello and welcome to another TerranScapes video. This video is a preview of a few upcoming new releases, and the first segment I should say here depicts the new craters. Previously the craters that I have been doing were circular separate pieces, and after taking a look at a few craters out on the market and thinking about some improvements for overall design, I decided to redo the molds as the old molds had deteriorated, and designed them to be attached as though it was a strafing bombing or perhaps an artillery barrage, and also include a separate crater, and this would be sold as a complete set. What I've done with these here is I've tried to model them to look as though clumps of grass, see if I can get that in the video, have been blown out of the craters and are stuck in some of the nooks and crannies around the edge, but otherwise left them a fairly bare soil look with some dark and blackened centers from the initial explosion. As a contrast, just to show how these could be modified, of course they could be painted to match any color scheme that you have in mind, and these have been painted to match the Martian modular board set that I produce, so that these could be added to that set, as well as really it works for just about any setting that you might use for sci-fi or modern warfare. The models shown here are AT-43 figures. These are, I believe, they're 30mm scale models, so it gives you a sense of the overall size of the craters. Gives you a little perspective of how large they are. The largest opening on the craters is just about 3.5 inches, and the second one is 3, and then this one is about 2. I think it's about 2.5. So I went with a slightly larger scale than I had done before, mainly because I wanted to be able to provide craters that would allow for units to be placed in them but still retain unit coherency. And so by doing it this way, you could place, just as a quick guess, using these models, which have round bases, I think these are a little bit larger bases than, say, 40K. You could put 4 in here, 3 in here, another in here, so you could have, say, 8 models in that. And then really you've got the extra crater you could place in a way, although it probably won't quite fit within the unit coherency spacing for most game systems, but it gives you some other layout options. These are cast in a plastic resin, so these are extremely durable. These are going to wear very well, and of course they have a high quality paint job. These will also be available as an unpainted piece, so that you could purchase them at a slightly lower cost and be able to paint them up yourself. The second item for today is a new fountain. After I've had a couple requests for a few fountains just that come in recently, and I've always wanted to take on a fountain using some Hearst Arts molds, and I've really been intrigued with expanding my techniques with water effects, so I thought this would be an opportune time to produce this piece. The fountain is 3 inches in diameter and is, let's see here, I want to say it's 4 inches, maybe a little bit closer, almost 4 inches tall. Give you another scale comparison here. Here's that same AT-43 figure shown in the craters. The waterfall has the fountain has 4 mouths pouring water into the fountain, and the water, let's see if I can get this in the right light so you can see, and the water has a rippled effect in it to show the movement of the water, as well as some splashing where the water is striking the surface from the fountain mouths. The piece is cast in plaster, and right now I'm beginning to start to cast in a new plaster called Toughstone, but for a while pieces that are purchased will probably be coming out of the Ultracal, which I've been using to date, mostly because I have a lot of Ultracal blocks already cast up. But anyway, it gives you another sense of the piece here and what some of the possibilities are for work I can do using water effects. And I think because of the time involved in creating the water effect, making all the correct measurements for the spout pores and doing all of the ripple effects and the resins inside, I think I'm going to offer the fountain constructed but without the water effects, so that I can offer it at a lower price, because I have to admit it did take me a couple hours to get all of this water effect down to this level, which is going to add to the price of the finished piece, and some people may want the fountain without that effect. So I'll be offering it in both ways to try to provide a range of prices so that it can fit most gamers' budgets. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these pieces. If you're interested in seeing quality photos of them, you can visit TerranScapes.com, and these will appear in the store probably later today, maybe even tomorrow. And you can also see pictures of all the other product line there, as well as contact information if you want to ask me any questions about the pieces. And that is always, as always I should say, at TerranScapes.com.